Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In today's video, we'll be jumping into the ThinkorSwim desktop platform and learning how to create some custom scans for options in there. Now, the things you guys can scan for in here are basically limitless, so what I'm really going to try and do is break it down and get you guys as comfortable with the tool as possible. I'm going to go through the process of adding a bunch of different filters that you can use, as well as give you some recommendations for baseline filters. These will be filters that you probably want to use on all the scans that you guys create for yourself, and hopefully by the end of this video you feel a lot more comfortable with the Option Hacker tool. But let's go ahead and jump right into the Scan tab and get some experience with this thing. So first off, to do that, we need to come up here to the Scan tab and make sure we have the Option Hacker selected. From there, as soon as you open up this page, you're going to see a screen that looks a whole lot like this, and down below we can actually see some of the filters that we're currently using, both of which are options filters. Now, just as a reminder, filters are just a way to narrow down our list of results. Whether it be stock filters, option filters, or even study filters, they're all just going to be used to help us find things that we actually want to trade. Now, I will be adding option filters a bit later, but to start off with a fresh template, let's go ahead and first start off with deleting those filters, and we just need to come over here to the right-hand side and click on the X button next to each of those. Now that we've got that out of the way, if we wanted to add some new filters, we're going to come up here to the Add a Filter box and go ahead and click on that. From there, we can then see a list of all of the different filter options available to us, like stock filters, option filters, fundamental filters, and study filters. I am going to go through each and every one of these just to make sure you guys get some experience with it, but we're going to start off with the simplest one first, and that's going to be a stock filter. So let's go ahead and click on that. Now, it's important to remember that even though we're scanning for individual options contracts that match our criteria, we obviously care about certain aspects of the underlying stock as well. Whether it be stocks that trade in a certain price range, or maybe even in a certain industry, or we're looking for stocks that pay a certain dividend yield, this is where we can add filters to narrow down those results. So to start off with, the filter I'm going to add is going to be based off of stock price. So I'm going to come over here to the word ask and go ahead and click on that. From there, I'm actually going to scroll down this list a little bit and find the word last for last traded price. For me, let's say I only want to trade stocks between, I don't know, 15 bucks a share and 1,000 bucks a share. So I'm going to come over here to the word minimum and I'm going to click in that box and type in 15. Then I'm going to come over here to the max box and type in 1,000. And remember, I'm just saying I only want to have results for companies that trade between 15 bucks a share and 1,000 bucks a share. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to come up here to add another filter, and it's just going to be another basic stock filter as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and come over here to the drop-down menu. From there, clicking through this list, I'm going to search for market cap in millions. And let's say I don't like to trade any super tiny companies. So I'm going to come over here to the minimum box and type in 1,000 or 1,000 millions. So now we're saying with this filter, we don't want to have any companies pop up that are worth less than $1 billion in valuation. Now, for this first example, these are going to be the only stock filters that I add. But of course, you guys can add whatever filters matter to you, whether it be dividend yield, maybe market cap, volume, whatever it is that matters, this is where you guys can continue adding filters to narrow down this list even further. In my case, I'm going to move off of the stock filters and come up here to the Add a Filter box, and now we're going to add some option filters. So we're going to go ahead and click on options here. From there, you can see I've got an option filter on the left-hand side now. I'm going to go ahead and click on the drop-down menu, and the first thing I'm going to find is based off of ask. Now, the reason I'm picking ask is because I only want options contracts to pop up that are worth at least a certain value, and hopefully I'm trying to weed out some really illiquid options or basically worthless options out of my way, so I don't bog down my results with things that I would never actually trade. So in my case, I'm going to set the minimum value as 50 cents. So these options contracts have to trade for at least 50 cents in value. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to come up here to add another filter, and it's going to be an option filter as well. For this one, we can actually see the filter that I want to add is actually in there by default, days until expiration. So we're going to go ahead and leave that. For me, let's say I didn't want any options to pop up that expire within, I don't know, 21 days. So I'm going to put the minimum as 21 days out. And let's say I don't want to trade any further than 180 days out, so about 6 months in time. I'm going to type in 180 here. Now that I'm happy with that, we'll come up here to add another filter. We're going to add another option filter. And for this one, it's going to be based off of volume. So I'm going to click on Delta here and scroll all the way down and find volume. And I'm going to go ahead and put the minimum number of contracts at 200. So hopefully the results that pop up are actually liquid, that people actually trade these things. The next one I'm going to add is going to be another option filter. So I'll come up here to add a filter and click on option. And this one is actually going to be based off of delta, which is kind of going to determine which side of the trade we're putting on. In my case, I want to look for bullish trades. So basically I'm looking for call options, so positive delta options. So let's come over here to the drop-down menu where it says extrinsic. Click on that and scroll up to find delta. Now for me, let's say I'm looking for options that trade kind of right at the money to slightly in the money. So I'm going to put my delta as 0.50, which would be right at the money as the minimum. And then the maximum is going to be, let's say 0.70. So that would be in the money, but not too far in the money. Those are going to be my baseline filters, the things that I really want to start off with before I start really narrowing down my results. So next up, I'm going to add some study filters, things that hopefully find the direction that this trade is going to go. So if I'm trying to look for indicators telling me that the stock could be going in an upward trend or downward trend, that kind of thing. So let's come up here to add a filter in the upper right-hand corner and click on the study filter box. For this first one, let's say I'm looking for a very simple study criteria, and that's going to be RSI. I'm looking for stocks that are below, let's just say 40 on the RSI. So coming down here to the study box, we'll go ahead and click on this ADX crossover. I'm going to come down here to popular studies, and coming to the right, I'm going to find popular scans and click on RSI. Now my screen isn't big enough, so I need to expand this just a little bit. And now we can see the RSI scan down here at the bottom. And right now it's saying that it's greater than 70. And I think I said I wanted that to be less than 40. So we'll go ahead and change that. From there, let's say I wanted to create a slightly more complex one. I'm going to look for stocks that have recently crossed above the 200 moving average. So I'm going to come up here to add a filter. It's going to be a study filter again. I'm going to look down below where it says ADX crossover. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. From there, I'm going to come down to the custom box because I'm going to create a custom scan filter. And once I do that, a little pop-up window will come up, and I'll move that down on the screen where you can actually see it. The first thing I'm going to do is actually delete whatever's in here because I don't want to use this. I want to create my own. I'm going to come down here to add a condition. I'm going to come up here to select a condition. And remember, I'm actually looking for the stock price recently crossing above, let's actually change it to the 50-day moving average. So we said the stock price first, so price. It's going to be the closing price. I said I'm looking for the price crossing above, and then it's going to be crossing above the 50-day moving average. So that's going to be a study condition. It's going to be looking up the word simple for simple moving average, changing this from the 9-day simple moving average to the 50-day average, and I'm going to hit save down here, and then hit OK. Now, I know I went through that quick, and really you don't need to remember what I just showed you. I'm really just trying to make you aware of kind of some of the things that you can do in this platform. So now that I got that out of the way, again, I'm looking for stocks that trade between $15 and $1,000 a share, are worth at least $1 billion in value. The option contracts that pop up have to be worth at least 50 cents, at least the ask has to be above 50 cents. I'm only looking for options that trade between 21 days out and 180 days out, that trade at least 200 contracts a day, have a delta of between 50 and 70, are kind of near oversold levels on the RSI, and have recently crossed above the 50-day moving average. So let's actually hit scan and see how many results even pop up with that thing. So hitting scan here. And unfortunately, I don't have a single stock or option that meets my criteria right now. So let's actually tweak this a little bit. I'm going to come over here and delete these two study filters. Let's just hit scan based off of this criteria right here, because I actually want to have some results pop up. All right, there we go. So we can actually see that there are 296 results if I get rid of those study criteria. And I can see that a lot of them are Alcoa, American Airlines, Apple. And one little critique I would make, or one little recommendation, is I would actually come up here to where it says options. I would personally click on that and change it to stock and options. If I come back over here and hit scan, the main difference between what I had before and what I'm going to have now is that they're kind of grouped up by symbol. So now it's going to say Alcoa, it's going to give me the actual stock information for Alcoa, and then break down the options that match my criteria. Then it'll give me American Airlines results, and then American Airlines options that meet my criteria, then Apple and the Apple options. So for me, the formatting for this is a lot better. I can actually see the stock information as well as the option information, and it's just easier to read for me. But let's actually dig into one of these and actually just confirm that they meet our criteria. So right here, I can see that the Alcoa 20 May 2022 $85 call matches my criteria right now, and let's actually take a look to make sure that's the case. First off, I want to confirm that the stock actually trades between $15 and $1,000 a share, which it does, trades at $83 a share. Next up, I want to confirm that the company has a market cap greater than $1 billion, and I don't actually have a column in here, so let's add that real quick. Market cap. Go ahead and add that to the right. Drag it over, make my list a little bit bigger. All right, we can see it's actually worth $15 billion, so it does match our criteria. Next up, we wanted to make sure the ask of the option was greater than 50 cents, and in this case, the ask is actually $9.80, well above 50 cents. We also wanted to make sure it was between 21 days and 180 days out, and I don't have a column for it, but I do know 20 May is within 21 to 180 days out. It'll be about 60 days out from now. I also wanted to make sure the contract traded at least 200 times so far today. It's actually traded 613 contracts. And I also wanted to make sure it was either right at the money or slightly in the money. In this case, it's got a delta of 53, so it does match my criteria in all cases. So hopefully you guys get the idea. This thing can really be used to narrow down your list of results, things that you actually would want to trade. Now, some other helpful criteria that you guys might find useful, if we come up here to add a filter and let's add a study filter, one that you guys might use often is actually based off of volatility, and it'll be right here under IV percentile. Now, IV percentile is actually mislabeled in this platform. This is actually IV rank, and remember, it's kind of a gauge. Is volatility high or low right now? If we were looking for underlyings with kind of low volatility right now, because we're looking at maybe buying some options contracts, we could come over here to where the IV rank is at and maybe make that 0 to, 20%. So we're looking for companies with kind of low volatility right now. If I were to come over here and hit scan, let's see if we narrow down the results at all. And you can see I do. It just went from like 300 results only to 5 results. We could also add another filter for volatility, which is pretty popular. If we come up here to add a filter, it's actually going to be a stock filter, surprisingly enough. You can see it gets added down here at the very bottom. Right now it says call sizzle index. If I were to click on that and actually come down to a vol index, let me find it here. This will actually be the current volatility for the underlying. So for example, AMC is actually showing that the volatility currently is kind of low, but I'm sure the volatility is still quite high overall compared to other underlyings for AMC. So if I was to say I don't want to trade any companies with volatility greater than, 60% here, we could throw in 60 and let's hit scan again. We might not actually have any results come up. And we don't. But really the ones you guys need to get most comfortable with for the option filters to really make sure you don't have an insane amount of results come up is going to be the ask filter, the days till expiration, volume, and delta. If you don't use those ones, you guys might have way too many results pop up and things that you would really never want to trade. Maybe they're super illiquid, maybe they're worthless right now. Really, you want to use these to just get the baseline criteria, and then from there, you guys can add your own filters on top of that, whether it be additional stock filters or study filters, things that really matter to you. The other thing I'll point out, just as like a headline item, is if you want to narrow it down by industry, you can come up here to where it says intersect with, and it currently says none. If you go ahead and click on that, and you look down at the very bottom to where it says by industry, you can actually narrow it down to companies in a certain sector. So let's say you were only looking for companies in the financial space. You go ahead and click on this and then say select all financials. And now only options that are on financial underlyings will actually pop up in the results here. So you can really use this thing in a lot of cool ways. It does take a lot of practice. And if there's anything you guys want me to touch on further, just let me know. But that was a lot, and I'm sure many of you guys are still very confused. I promise that's entirely normal. This tool is pretty advanced, and it's probably my favorite feature on here, but definitely takes a lot of practice to get the hang of it. So really, I definitely recommend you guys try it out for yourself, get some experience with it. If you run into issues or if you have some questions for me, just leave them down below, and I'll do my best to help you all out. I have also made some other tutorial videos on creating custom scans, so you guys may find those helpful, but that's really everything I wanted to cover today. I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.